For more, let's bring in Dr. Tarik Abou-Chadi of Berlin's Humboldt University. Thank you very much for joining us this evening to tell us a little bit more. How do you explain Schulz's popularity here?
There certainly isn't one single explanation, I think. First of all, what's important is that he isn't Sigmar Gabriel. There's been a change, he's fresh, he's new. So this is the one reason that he has this big following behind him all of a sudden. I think there are two more substantial reasons that are important. The first is that he's a social democrat through and through. If you listen to him, the way he speaks, the way he talks to people, where he's from, having been a mayor in a small town, still living in that small town, that's the core of social democracy. And I think this plays out well with one type of social democratic voter. But on the other hand, he was the president of the European Parliament, and he's really associated with this European project. So educated urban people really associate him with that, and they've seen that there's this threat for this project. So I think they project this positive onto him, and this combination, I think, is quite unique and might explain his popularity.
And given this ability to connect with the people, being one of the people, as you were just saying, there's this interesting connection now with populism, because on the one hand, he's committed to fighting this rise of extreme populism, especially from the far right. But on the other, he's been accused of being a populist himself. How does one reconcile that?
So, I mean, who and what has not been called populist in the past months? And from an academic perspective, I would really argue that Martin Schulz is not a populist. The idea of populism is really pitching a pure people defined by, let's say, class or ethnicity against a corrupt elite. And this is not something he's done. He's really said we need to listen more to the people, but that's also not something that's necessarily populist. And I would say, on the contrary, he's really been associated with going head-to-head with European populists. I think most people have started getting to know him when he had this big fight with Silvio Berlusconi. He's been kicking out people of the European Parliament. So he's really seen as this pillar against European populism. So I think this is what plays out well with a certain part of the electorate.
Is he a strong enough pillar, though, to have a chance against Angela Merkel?
We're 6 months away from the election, so I won't make any predictions.
If the vote were now, what do you think it would be?
So I think definitely one important thing is that there's a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. Now people believe again that the SPD could become the strongest party and actually could lead a government. And this is important because this affects how people vote. If they're polling around 20%, people don't really see an option for them to properly govern, and the prospect of being the junior coalition partner again is really not appealing. So the fact alone that he's head-to-head with Merkel, or that the SPD is head-to-head with the CDU-CSU, in itself already should have a positive effect on their chances of leading a government.
And what do you think the biggest obstacles are? I mean, are there any potential opponents?
So the longer he's around, the more opponents he will have, and the CDU-CSU will certainly step up their game and attacking them from that flank. The other issue is, of course, how does the SPD manage being stuck in between, basically, in the fight over the center on the one hand, and let's say more left libertarian and the left party, the Greens, on the other hand. So they're always squeezed in the middle, and this is a structural problem for all social democratic parties.
Let's drill down a little bit into his platform, because, in various speeches he has addressed income inequality, unemployment, European unity. Does he intend to tackle the public discontent, though, over immigration, or is that too much of a hot potato at this point?
So I think he'd prefer not to speak about the issue. Centrist parties really would like to not address immigration as an issue generally, because it's a highly emotional issue where especially the far right, radical right parties really have some seemingly easier answers. So the centrist parties, especially parties on the left, like to not tackle the issue of immigration. On the other hand, what we've seen now in the Netherlands really is that the left parties that did best, that really improved their vote share and their seat share, were the parties that ran on a very open, nearly cosmopolitan platform. So I think it is hard to get around the issue, and probably as a party of the left these days, you need to have this more open universalist position to win elections.
Really quickly, is the world ready, though, for a Chancellor Martin Schulz? I mean, many people now calling Chancellor Angela Merkel the leader of the free world, especially in the wake of criticism about Donald Trump.
this is definitely an obstacle, and this is why she's so popular. But I do think that a Martin Schulz, maybe combined with an Emmanuel Macron in France, can form a novel pillar that stands against the populists in the world.
Okay, we will see if that does indeed come to fruition. We want to thank you very much for your analysis on all of this, Dr. Tarik Abou-Chadi from Berlin's Humboldt University. We appreciate it.